Hi there guys, Dennis from Greece here, back again with another lesson about triads. This time is about minor triads, but before we delve into this, I want to point out that although I don't provide you with a PDF file, because I want you to do it yourselves, to draw them, if you absolutely want to check what you drew, go to my video about intervals, and in the description I have a link of a PSD Photoshop file which basically it's like the ring of Sauron, one to control all. My point is that with this thing you can construct triads, arpeggios, scales and basically anything you want just by hiding or showing the layers. Okay, so if you want, for example, major triads, all you want to show is the root, major third and the perfect fifth, and the triads will appear. Then you can print them, you can do anything you want. So use it and print whatever chart you like. So on our subject here, minor triads. The process of creating them is as simple as that of the major triads. All we need to know is their intervals. We will find out that the only difference is that the minor triads have a minor third instead of a major one. So their construction is root, minor third and a perfect fifth. That makes our job even easier, so all we have to do is go back to our major triads drawing that we did in our previous video and lower our major triad a half step. The process, of course, is still the same. We will start from the root and go diagonally to we'll start from the root of the sixth string and go diagonally to the first string, playing the intervals we mentioned, and then we will do the same from the fifth and the fourth string. So bottom line is we will create again 3 string trees of triads. This time, of course, it will be minor ones. Okay, so now we will do what we did in our previous video. Take each string set and play every triad available. Let's for example start from the lowest string, 12th fret, the note here. We want to start to play minor triads. We will follow the same process. So root, we're looking for the flattened third, the minor third, which is here, and then the fifth. 1, flat 3, 5. And we continue the same process to the next 3 sets. Flat 3, 5 and 1. 5, 1, flat 3, 1, flat 3, 5. Okay. That's the process. We've talked about it in our previous video and we will follow the same for the fifth and the fourth string. So for example we want to play minor triad starting from the E note at the fifth string. We will do exactly the same. 1, we're looking for the flat 3, then the 5, okay, and we continue at this fashion. And of course we have one above. Okay, as you can see, this stuff you don't have to pay close attention to. You just have to start building them yourself. Okay, either draw them or on the guitar. That's why I said to you again and again, the intervals lesson was the most important lesson of all. Because if you know your intervals, you can start making them anywhere you want. For example, if we take the D note here and we want to make minor triads, same process. 1, we're looking for the flat 3 and the 5. Okay. That's right. That's all you need to do. As you can see, three string trees were built in the major triads, 3 string trees we will build in the minor triads. Okay, 1 flat 3 5, 1 flat 3 5, flat 3, flat third 5 1, and so on. Okay, as I've said to you before, you don't have to worry about which triad you call first inversion or second inversion. Learn your triads, and after you build some fluency, you will start to realize that at some point the flat and third is in the bass or the fifth is in the bass. So it's first inversion and second inversion respectively. So you don't have to worry about it at all. After you play all this, you play those string trees up and down like you did with the major triads. Let's take a note and test yourself. Okay, you can do it at any note, anywhere on the fretboard. Okay, this will start to build some confidence. For example, this note here, you may not even know which note it is. Let's take the 12th fret, because everyone knows the notes here. So it's the D note here, and let's say you want to play a minor triad. Of course, ultimately, you want to be able to do it immediately, but even if you're having trouble, follow the process. So we have a note. The second thing you have to ask yourself is what string set to use, because I can play a minor triad using the E, the A and the D, or the A, the D and the G, or the D, the G and the B. You know, these things are endless. So let's say, for example, that we will use the D here and the string sets D, A and E. So the 3 low strings. So we have the D. We already know, since we know our intervals, that the fifth is above, and since we want the third to be in the lowest string, we just have to find the flat and third there. It's here. So that's the way you will start testing yourself and building your triads. Do that for major, do that for minor, and you will see that very soon you will be able to play anything you want, everywhere you want. So what does this mean? That means freedom. Why? Let's say, for example, we take a very easy chord progression, open chords that most of you already know: A minor, D major, E minor. Almost everybody knows how to play them. Okay, but let's say, for example, you want to play this part high up the neck and you want the transitions to be smooth. So you don't want to change many positions or to move your hands, because the sound you want to be as smooth as possible. For example, let's take the A here, and our first task is to build an A minor chord like this. Since we have the A, then we have to decide which string set to use. Let's, for example, use the B, the G and the D strings. Okay, so this is A. We're looking for the third or the fifth. If we look above, the fifth is here and the third is here. So here is our A minor. Our next chord is the D major. So A minor, and I want this to become D major. As you can see, if we know our triads and our intervals well, Two of the notes of the D major are already pressed, the D and the E here. So as you can see, I move only the index finger to play the D major triad. So A minor, D major. You see, the sound is really smoother than the first. Okay, and we want one more, we want the E minor. So A minor, D, and we want the E minor. As we can see, we have already the two notes. We have the E, we have the third, and we want the fifth. The fifth is right above, if we use the string set of D, G and B. So all of that, as you can see, with minimal movement, it's basically the same chords, but the transitions are really smooth. D, E minor. Okay, this is just an example of why the triads are useful. Or maybe, just think about it, maybe you know the progression, but the bass player comes to you and say, don't play the root, leave the root to me, only take care of the third and the fifth. But what can you do if you don't know where the third is, where the fifth is, and where to play them in the higher register? So, by learning your triads, you see that you start making sense of the fretboard. Okay? So not only it's good for chord playing, but those roots, the thirds and the fifths, are part of arpeggios, are part of scales, so you know you will use them in the near future. It's not something disconnected. That's why I've said to you, learn your intervals very well. As you can see, all we do is stacking intervals. Okay? I don't know if you know an old Queensryche song, I See in Infrared. Try to move it around and call it I See in Intervals. Okay? I believe it's the best way to decipher your guitar fretboard. You know your root, you know the major third, you know the minor third, you know the perfect fifth, perfect fourth, second. If you start building your knowledge like that, you will play anything you want. But first, let's start by learning our major and our minor triads. Okay, so take all that into consideration and go and practice them. Have fun.